Had to drink a little bit of water before I start. Wait, hold on. Am I live? Let me make sure. I am. Okay. So let me start this video. Hey, what is up, you guys? It is Tyler. Welcome back to the Tyler Williams channel. Welcome to a review / results of Monday Night Raw. Now, I have not done a Monday Night Raw review in a minute. I mean, I've done like live streams of Raw. I've done like, reactions to Raw and like, segments of Raw. But I have not done an actual review of the entire show in a long time. And that's mostly because I don't watch Raw. You guys know me. I don't watch Raw. I don't watch SmackDown. I try to watch NXT when I can, but I really don't have the time to because I'm doing stuff. I'm working, and I'm like, all right. So this month, New Year, I'm gonna try and see how this goes. I'm gonna try and review Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night SmackDown, and NXT all this month and see how it goes. So here's to seeing how this all goes. So I watched Raw tonight. It was the first Raw of the new year, the first Raw of 2018, and might I say, dare I say, it was a pretty good episode of Raw. I know, right? Shocking. Me saying an episode of Raw was good. Not only did I not fall asleep, which is almost unheard of, but they kept my interest during most of the, not all of the show, but most of the show kept my interest. And I did actually take notes here on my laptop. I had to take notes because I know I was going to end up forgetting some of it. JD the Gamer's in the chat. What's up, JD Gamer and Foxtrot's watching. I may not be talking as much as I usually do during the chat because I'm going to be looking at my notes. So just letting you guys know that right now. But I will be checking the chat for the most part. So let's go through this. So the show opened up with Kurt Angle, and he was talking about how Raw 25 is coming up, how the Royal Rumble's coming up. I think it's so cool how like Raw 25 and the Royal Rumble are literally in the span of the same week. Like you're gonna see all these legends and everything happening on Monday Night Raw. Like if you're in the East Coast, this has to be a beautiful week for you because not only are you getting Raw 25, that's if you're going. I'm not going because the tickets sold out like for the Manhattan Center, which is where I believe everything's going to happen. All the good stuff's going to happen. Manhattan Center, those tickets sold out like almost immediately, so I didn't even get a chance to get tickets to there. But the Barclays Center ones, I'm like, I don't know if I want to go all the way to New York for one day, come back, and then I have 3 days off that weekend because I'm going to be off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm off the Royal Rumble weekend, so I don't know if I should, take chances and try to take off on Monday. I'm like, nah, let me not chance it. So, if you are good in that weekend and you're on the East Coast in New York and Pennsylvania, then that's great for you because you got Raw 25. Then you have House of Hardcore, which most people don't know about House of Hardcore, but it's an independent show ran by Tommy Dreamer in Philadelphia. I've been going to the past 3 shows. I've been very entertained by it. I'm going again. It's going to be the Friday of the Royal Rumble. So House of Hardcore that Friday. Then you got NXT TakeOver that Saturday, and then the Royal Rumble that Sunday. It's just a stacked week for wrestling all around for anyone who's in the East Coast, honestly. Legends in the Rumble? Yes, definitely. So, as I was saying, I kind of went into a bit of a tangent there. So, Kurt Angle was talking about how, Raw 25 is coming up and the Rumble's coming out. And he started talking about the Women's Rumble. I'm like, okay, interesting. Finally, we're getting something about the Women's Rumble. And he's like, I've been in talks with Stephanie and Shane and Daniel Bryan, and they've decided that we're going to have 30 women. We're going to make it just like the men. 30 women in the Rumble match. And I immediately was like, how are they going to do this? How are they going to have 30 women? I made a video on this already, but let me just reiterate real quick. I don't think it's smart to have 30 women in the Rumble match because there's 20 women altogether on the roster. Between Raw and SmackDown, I believe there's only 20 women. So right there, there's 10 open spots that can be left for NXT or returns. And right there, I'm just like, that's too many spots open. Like, in the Men's Rumble, there's usually 1 or 2 surprise returns or debuts in the Rumble. Last year, I think we barely had any. Aside from Ty Dillinger, we didn't have any, which is shocking. I mean, aside from because they announced Goldberg, The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, and what's his name? One more guy. Yeah, they announced Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, and The Undertaker. So I guess they were technically the surprise entries, but they announced them, so we didn't count them as surprises. So the only other surprise entry in that match was Jack Gallagher, who was a cruiserweight, and Ty Dillinger, and that was kind of it. It was kind of weak in terms of it. But the year before that, in 2016, it was I can't really remember who the surprise entry 2016 was. Oh yeah, it was AJ Styles made his debut. Sami Zayn made his debut in Rumble match. 2015, we had the Boogeyman, we had Bubba Ray Dudley. 2014, it was Rey Mysterio, who got booed out of the building, sadly, because it wasn't Daniel Bryan. But you guys get my point. There's only been like 1 or 2 entries, surprise entries. Women's Rumble match, 10 of them. It's like, I understand you're trying to get all these women from the past and present and future in this one match that's just been a dream for all these women, but it's like, the same way not every woman could be in a Hell in a Cell match or a steel cage match or a tables, glass, and chairs match or a last woman standing match, every woman can't make it into the Rumble match. And if they can't make it in this year, then they're just going to make it in next year. If you blow off all your surprise entries in this one year, then what happens if you do the Rumble match in 2019? Like, if you do Trish, Lita, they're probably going to try to get Victoria in there. Who else? Give me a big name. Let me look in the chat real quick. Let me check in the chat real quick. You guys got any big names in the chat? Hey, what's up, Len? Trying to think of some big names right now for the Women's Royal Rumble match. I have Trish, Lita, Victoria. I don't know, Jacqueline. I think she's still alive. Ivory. That's 5 women right there. Molly Holly, maybe. I think Kelly's an ambassador. Get Kelly probably. Caitlyn, I hear, is trying to train a wrestler. That's like 8 women right there. And then that leaves 2 NXT women, which I said should go to Pilly. Yeah, about to flip you guys off. Should go to Peyton Royce and Nikki Cross. It's 10 women right there. And that's 8 of them are returns. So if you do like 8 returns in this one match, then who are you going to have return in the next year's Rumble? Because you're blowing off all these returns in 2018. I get, this could be this. There's no saying that there's going to be more women Rumbles after this, but we already know that there's obviously going to be more of them. They can't not do another women's Rumble match. You know what I mean? Like, after the first one, they got to do next one. I mean, then again, there hasn't been another women's Hell in a Cell match or another women's like Money in Bank, but you guys get my point. They can always do another one next year. So throwing all your eggs in a 2018 basket isn't smart. But despite that, they're going to do anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Someone said Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey could be another surprise entry in there, but I didn't say her name because there are rumors that she may not end up being in a Rumble after all. But, it's all about what happens there, honestly. But subside the fact, 30 women are going to be in that Rumble match. It's going to be over the top rope Rumble, which is new because if you guys didn't know, well, I'm sure you all already knew, but in most Women's Battle Royal, the elimination is through the middle rope because, most of the women are like, 5'8", 5'9", 5'4", 5'2", 5 feet. Alexa Bliss is 5 feet. So them going over the top rope, they're going to have to leap or jump or get hurled over the top rope. And now it's like an over the top rope match. I'm like, a lot of these women are short. So how are you going to get them over the top rope without them looking like they're trying to leap over the top rope? Like, I'm trying to... Alexa Bliss is in the match, but the second smallest wrestler next to Alexa Bliss is Asuka. Asuka's going to be in a match. Asuka's like 5'2". How are you going to throw Asuka's 5'2" butt over the top rope if she can barely reach the top rope as it is standing up? I'm like, all right, well, that's going to be weird. That's going to be a challenge. So he makes that announcement, and then Sheamus and Cesaro come out, and they're like, oh, we won our tag team championship rematch. I immediately roll my eyes like, Lord Jesus, if I have to see another Bar versus Seth Rollins I don't even care that Dean Ambrose isn't in the equation. If I have to see any other alteration of Seth, Sheamus, and Cesaro, I'm gonna bash my brains in. Like, I'm tired of seeing this match. I'm tired of seeing this. So Jason Jordan comes out to some heckles to the crowd. He comes out to defend his father's honor because the bar's getting all up in his face, like, well, what are you gonna do about it if you don't give us a match? All that kind of stuff. And Jason Jordan comes out corny as always, talking about how, oh, I'll defend your honor, Dad. I'll challenge you, Cesaro, to a match. So it leads to a match between Jason Jordan and Cesaro, which happened the week before, but we're going back to it this week again, as if we didn't just see this match 7 days ago. But I guess new year, clean slate, whatever. So we're about to enter Jason Jordan versus Cesaro. Seth Rollins comes out, and Seth Rollins, he kind of came off a little bit heelish in this promo, mind you, because Seth Rollins came out. He kind of checks Jason at the door like, you're being self-absorbed. You need to chill out. You're coming out here. You're making matches. You ain't considering the fact that you're the tag team champion. Look at you. You're in the ring. You're putting yourself in a 2-on-1 situation. I'm not here. The bar is here, but you're alone. You got to consider your health. And if your health's not good, how's that going to make me look? Because I'm the champion. And he's basically dressing Jason Jordan down. He called himself absorbed. He was like, you gotta think about the team. He basically checked Jason Jordan at the door in this whole promo. I was like, damn, Seth, way to embarrass him. And I loved every second of it, honestly. Seth dressing down Jason Jordan was just probably some of the best moments of the first hour alone. And Jason Jordan just kind of sat there and took it. And it was so funny because as Seth was saying this, Kurt Angle just started walking to the back, then looked back, didn't say nothing, just walked straight to the back. I was like, wow, you ain't going to defend your son at all? I guess Kurt Angle was like, yeah, well, he's right, you know. Fucking asshole. Love you, son. Didn't he call him a dad? I think he calls him a daddy's boy. Or Cesaro called him a daddy's boy. Anyway, Jason Jordan versus Cesaro happens. It was a good match. It was between decent and good. I felt like it was more so of a repeat of last week's match. I mean, I saw clips of last week's match. I didn't see the whole match, though I did see the whole match of this one. I thought it was back and forth throughout, but overall I felt like, you know, I saw it last week. That's how I felt. I saw it last week, you know. I didn't have to see it again. But Jason Jordan won the match, and that kind of was it after that. Then we get into the backstage segment with Roman Reigns. He's basically talking smack on Samoa Joe because, you know, there's building up to Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns match later on that night. I'm assuming it's going to be a main event, but obviously it wasn't. Little do I know, they like to put all their good stuff in the second hour. Now I know to tune out after the second hour, but I'll get into that a bit later. After that, Sasha Banks cuts a promo talking about how I'm going to be entering in the Royal Rumble. And I thought it was really interesting how they worded this. Kurt Angle worded it this way, and Sasha worded it this way. They said, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble, and I'm going to win a championship match at WrestleMania. They're not saying, like Sasha could have said, you would expect Sasha to say, I'm going to win the championship match and face Alexa Bliss for Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. I'm going to win the match and face the Raw Women's Champion at WrestleMania. But she didn't specify what championship. She just said a championship opportunity. I'm like, ooh. So maybe they're going to do a deal where the winner gets to choose what champion they face. Which also leads me to think that Asuka's going to win and choose to face Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And, you know, we could weave Ronda Rousey in there and we get a triple threat at WrestleMania. But I already working on the video on how that's going to go into fruition. I'm still working on it. So hopefully, if anyone tries to do a triple threat between Ronda, Charlotte, and Asuka, they refer back to this video because I thought about it first. Someone's going to steal it, but it's whatever. Anyway, then we get into the next match. Bray Wyatt versus... I'm doing a lot of hand motions. I don't know why. Bray Wyatt versus Apollo Crews. He was accompanied by the Titus brand, Titus O'Neil, and Dana Brooke. I was wondering where Akira Tozawa was. I thought he was part of the Titus brand, but I guess he's not anymore. Or maybe he just wasn't there. I don't know. There wasn't a lot of cruiserweights on the show. Maybe it was because Enzo wasn't there, and they're like, you know, we're not going to focus too much on cruiserweights, but... So, this was just the match. Bray dominated the match. Basically, the entire match was Bray Wyatt making him look dominant. And I guess maybe they're like, you know what? We treated this guy like shit all of 2017. New year, let's build him back up. And I can respect that, you know. They trashed Bray Wyatt. It's going to take a lot more than a few dominant performances to get me back into the Bray Wyatt character, because honestly, the Bray Wyatt character, I'm totally turned off from it, because I feel like you went from being WWE champion at the beginning of the year and you made this slow descent afterwards. You lost the championship to Randy Orton, then you went into this really boring feud, led to this House of Hardcore match, or what is it called? House of Horrors match that was kind of a ripoff of the Broken Hardy shit in TNA, and it wasn't even all that good. And then he went into this long, boring feud with Finn Balor that never ended. Thankfully, I can't say thankfully because someone did get sick, but he got meningitis, and then the feud didn't end up culminating. But thank God it didn't, because I really did not want to see Bray Wyatt in drag. And then thereafter, he kind of just went into this feud with who did he go into a feud with after that? I don't know what. Bray Wyatt just kind of lingered after that. Now he's in a feud with Matt Hardy, and I'll get into after this. Bray Wyatt won the match, and Matt Hardy interrupted for the Titantron again, doing his laugh. Yes, deities, the lead, Woken, yeah, and then it just multiplied, and that's kind of it. I'm like, it was good the first week. It was funny the second week. It was okay the third week. Fourth week, I'm like, all right, enough. I think the fourth week also, we got Matt Hardy attacking Bray Wyatt. This is the fifth week, or maybe it's the fourth week. It could be the 13th week. I don't know. I felt like I've seen Matt Hardy on the Titantron too many times saying almost the exact same thing. How long is this going to go on? Are we going to see more of this until the Rumble? Because I'll tell you what, if I have to see Matt Hardy doing the delete on the Titantron every week until the Rumble, I'm going to be annoyed with the Matt Hardy character. Like, maybe, I don't know. I don't watch TNA. I did not watch TNA, but I watched a lot of the Broken Hardy stuff in TNA when it was happening. And I could tell you, a lot of the stuff they're doing, it was funny, it was creative. And I heard Matt Hardy, he has creative control over what's happening with his Broken Hardy stuff in WWE right now. That's great. But if he has control over it, if he is deciding that the way to build up him versus Bray Wyatt is him interrupting the Bray Wyatt matches and taunting Bray Wyatt every single week with if he thinks that is entertaining, it's not. It was entertaining the first, second, and third week. After you get to that month period, it's like, dude, stop. You've done enough. Attack him. Go somewhere else. Go to a different venue. Talk to, I don't know, you was talking to a fish one week. That was fine. Talk to, I don't know, talk to a cereal box. Talk to a painting of motherfucking Lisa. Go to a museum. Go to a station, like a train station. Go somewhere. Talk to people. Interact. But this whole... Okay. That got me all riled up. Hold on. I'm good now. But this whole, you know, interrupting Bray Wyatt every single week, doing the same exact thing, it's getting boring right now. I mean, it's not boring yet, but it's getting repetitive. It's getting tedious. This should be the last week I'm seeing this. I'm just saying. If I see this next week, I'm going to be like, stop. Enough is enough. I've seen this. Go somewhere else. Do something else. Say something else. If you're going to end the promo with the laugh, that's fine and all. But at least try to mix it up with your venue or something. But the same background, basically the same promo, and you end it the same way, and the Woken, that glass shatters and it all falls, and it, you know, it means broken. That's come on. You could do better than that. I know if Matt Hardy really has creative control, he can do way better than that. Honestly, I don't know what to believe if it's actually Matt Hardy having creative control. WWE has leverage, but this could be way better than what we're getting right now. Anyway, moving on. So Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax having a backstage segment, and Nia Jax has something in her hand. I thought it was corn. It was like corn marinating in something. Apparently, it was chicken soup. I'm like, wow, interesting. So she's holding chicken soup, and she was about to walk out, but Alexa Bliss stops her, and she's like, Nia, I have to talk to you. I need you by my side in match against Asuka. And I'm like, wait, she's facing Asuka already? Huh. Okay. So anyway, the segments going on. Nia's like, I gotta go. I gotta take this food to Enzo. Enzo's in the hospital or whatever. And Alexa's like, no, I need you by my side. I need you in my corner. And Nia's like, well, Enzo texted me. I need to go. And Alexa's like, I didn't want to have to do this, but it's either Enzo or me. And Nia's like, I'm sorry, but my food's getting cold. And she just leaves. And I started laughing for a second. I smirked. I laughed a little bit. It was kind of funny. The Nia Jax Enzo Amore thing, it's okay. I'm just starting into Monday Night Raw, so excuse me if I don't follow everything just yet. But Enzo, Nia Jax, it's two different. I've seen this before. Beth Phoenix and Santino, Tamina and Santino, there was something else that went on there, but we've seen this before. Obviously, we're going the same way with Nia Jax and Enzo. Maybe they're going to kiss at Royal Rumble or something. I don't know what's going to happen there, but anyway, it was okay segment. So we get to the second hour. Then we get to Alexa Bliss versus Asuka, which I was pretty excited for. But I was sitting here wondering, why are we doing this match on TV? We could do this at the Rumble. We could do this. Asuka can win, challenge Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. We got this match at WrestleMania. Why are we having a Monday Night Raw? I'm like, okay, obviously there's going to be a disqualification, or Alexa Bliss is going to leave the ring and get herself counted out because Nia Jax isn't there. Maybe Nia Jax is going to come out and cause a disqualification. Or maybe, just maybe, they're stupid enough to have Asuka lose somehow, and that leads to a second match, you know? But while it was a pretty good match, it was competitive, like really competitive, back and forth, almost 50-50. Why are they doing this to Asuka? This was never Asuka in NXT. Asuka almost never had 50-50 back and forth paced match. Most of the matches either dominated by Asuka or opponent took some of the offense and then Asuka came back and whooped her ass the entire match. It was never this whole Asuka has the control. Now Alexa has control. Asuka's getting back into control again. Oh, now Alexa has her in a chin lock, and the chin lock's being applied for 20 seconds. And now Asuka's getting out of it, but now she's back into a surfboard. It was never this in NXT. I don't know why they're doing this on Raw. They're treating Asuka like she's a regular wrestler on the roster now, and it's starting to sicken me. They're treating her like a regular women's wrestler with an undefeated streak, and that's not how she should be treated. But nonetheless, it was a pretty good match. Asuka won. I believe she won with the armbar. And I was just sitting there like, they should have done this at WrestleMania. They should have done this at the Rumble. Because it was a pretty good match. I'm like, this was a pay-per-view quality. It wasn't a pay-per-view. I don't know if it was, I'll call it pay-per-view quality. But it was a pay-per-view worthy match. And I was sitting there like, y'all could have waited until a later date to do this. But y'all wanted to do this on Raw. Really? Now, if y'all do this at a pay-per-view, it's going to be like, well, we saw it already. We saw it on TV. So why do I need to buy the network? Why do I need to buy the network and watch this match when I already saw it happen? Same thing with Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns. We're going to get to that in a second, too. So then we got to Braun Strowman versus Heath Slater. No, it was Braun Strowman versus Rhino. It oddly turned into a 2-on-1 match because Braun Strowman was attacking Rhino. Heath Slater was on the apron. He was taunting. He was doing this and that. Braun Strowman got out of the ring, picked up a microphone, and was like, "Hey, yo, what are you gonna do? You're either gonna sit down and let us wrestle, or you're gonna get in the ring and you're gonna wait." He said, "Or you're gonna get, or you're gonna get these hands like your partner." And I'm like, "Oh, he said he gonna catch these hands." I'm like, "All right, Braun, hit him with the left, hit him with the right, knock him out like fight night." I got you, Braun. I got you. So then he gets to the match and he attacks Braun, and there was no DQ. I'm like, this turned into a 2-on-1 out of thin air. Like, I don't know how this happened to be a handicap match now. But he got in the ring. They're attacking Braun. Braun powers out of it. Hits Rhino with a power slam. Pins him. Braun wins the match. The crowd was really, really hot for this. The crowd, I gotta say this. The crowd tonight was amazing. That was probably one of the best. Now, maybe it was because it was New Year's. Everyone had a lot to drink. They're a little bit high. I mean, they've been high on New Year's. You know, it's New Year's. Maybe that's why. But like, this is a abnormally loud crowd, because usually the crowd is kind of meh, or depending where you go, the crowd's like yay. But the crowd was alive like the whole night. I'm like, I could not help but notice that. I'm like, wow, this is a really good crowd. And I'm like, where are we? Oh, Miami, Florida. I guess that makes sense. I guess that makes sense for the crowd to be live there. But hey, it's New Year's. I'm gonna say it's New Year's. So Braun celebrating there like one more time, and he gives up and he power slams Rhino. And then they're still chanting one more time. So he gets up and he power slams Heath. Then he power slams Rhino. Then he power slams Heath again. And then I think he power slams Heath one more time. Then he leaves. It was pretty fun stuff. Braun is definitely a babyface at this point, and I like it. I like it. Then we got three segments back to back. We got Roman and Seth. They had a segment. Seth is talking to Roman about, how you got to make sure you calm down and you take a chill pill and don't do anything stupid to lose your title. And Roman's like, yeah, I got this, dude. Jason Jordan comes out of nowhere into the frame. He gets booed immediately by the crowd, talking about how, oh, well, we got your back. Like, me and Seth, we got your back if you need it. Believe that. And leaves the frame, and Seth and Roman just awkwardly look out at a distance. I thought that was pretty funny. Then we had a Kane and Braun segment. I missed most of it because I was looking for my remote. I forgot. I dropped my remote. And you know how sometimes you drop something and you look down and it's not in the place where you dropped it. So then you're looking all around the room and it's halfway across your fucking room, even though you dropped it. You dropped it at A. But for some reason, it's at E. It's like, but I dropped it here. How the fuck is it here? But I was looking for my remote throughout the whole segment, so I missed it. I don't know what happened. Then there was a segment with Kurt and Finn, and Kurt wasn't interviewing Finn. He was watching a segment, but he was doing the whole stupid shit where the screen's right here, and he's watching it like this. Like normal people watch Raw, you know, with their body turned this way, screen this way, you know. This is how I watch Raw, definitely. So he's watching it like that. Finn comes into the picture. And he's like, "Did you find your partners for tonight?" I didn't even know he was having a match tonight, but hey, cool. He's like, "Yeah, I found my partners." I'm thinking it's about to be some I don't know. I don't know who I thought it was gonna be. But then Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. I'm like, "Oh, it's Japan." I'm like, "It's the Bullet Club." Too sweet. The club is back together. Well, it's not the club because the club is AJ, Carl, and Luke Gallows. But I was happy to see Carl and Luke Gallows back on TV because I said on the live stream earlier, I don't know what they're doing with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, but like those guys are doing nothing. But now, you know, they're with Finn. Hopefully it's not just a one-off and we get to see them a little bit more on Raw with Finn Balor. Maybe they start doing a little bit of a club thing. Who knows? Maybe New Year, give Finn something to do finally. Give him the Good Brothers. Make Club 2.0. We can only hope, obviously. Then we get on to the main event. It wasn't a real main event, but I'm going to call it the main event because anything that happened after this really didn't care. Really didn't matter. Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe. This was a great match put on by Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe. Lots of back and forth. Now, this is a match where back and forth is acceptable. Asuka, back and forth, not acceptable. Roman, Samoa Joe, acceptable. So, lots of back and forth between these men. It was a really good story being told by them. Samoa Joe, at all costs, is trying to make Roman Reigns boil up, reach his boiling point, reach that hot point where he was going to snap and get a steel chair and smack him and get himself disqualified, because the stipulation is if Roman Reigns gets disqualified, then Samoa Joe is going to be the champion, rewarded the championship. So Roman Reigns can't get pinned, submitted, or get disqualified. Now, however, he can't get counted out and it'll be fine. But, you know, no one really cares. And everyone already figures out that, you know, he's not obviously not going to get counted out. So they told that story. Samoa Joe's doing everything he can to get Roman Reigns to that point, get him all angry, but he doesn't. There's a spot outside where he did something to Roman. I looked away. He did something to Roman. Roman got up. He's foaming at the mouth. He gets to steel steps. He's about to throw it at Samoa Joe, but referee, he's from like, no, don't do it, don't do it. The crowd's like, no. The crowd was surprisingly behind Roman. Maybe I don't watch Raw enough. Maybe some Roman Reigns is over now, and the crowd finally accepted him. But from what I saw when he came out, it was primarily cheers, and we got the Roman, let's go Roman, Roman sucks, the John Cena stuff, which made me cringe. But I'm like, is Roman being cheered right now in Florida, the place where, you know, he defeated The Undertaker? Maybe people forgot that easily. I don't know, but nonetheless, Roman Reigns got cheered. Crowd was behind him. Crowd was behind Samoa Joe as well. Mostly it was they were behind Roman. There was a spot where they got in the ring. He was hitting Superman punches. Samoa Joe was still trying to make him angry, but Roman Reigns was not giving in. I don't know where it came from, but Roman Reigns to the spear and pinned Samoa Joe. Shocked the hell out of me because I thought Samoa Joe was winning, but Roman Reigns retained the title, which leads me to believe that Roman is dropping the title back to The Miz when The Miz returns next week. And really good match. If you're going to watch this show, I would say that will be one of the matches to watch. Would be Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns. Once again, proving why I don't know why Roman Reigns won the worst wrestler of the year for no DQ, but whatever. And we got to the last hour, which honestly I don't even care to review. It didn't matter, but I'm gonna review anyway. So cruiserweights finally end up on the show. Cedric Alexander comes out. No, Drew Gulak and Daivari are there. Drew Gulak's like, oh, I have a message from Enzo Amore. And Enzo Amore is like, hey, what is up, you guys? It is Enzo Amore, and I'm back at it with another video. That's not what he said, but he's like, my name is Enzo Amore. I'm a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Drew Gulak, and he is a Philadelphia. And this right here is also Daivari, and he is a brother of the real Muhammad Daivari, who just so happens to, I don't fucking know what he said. I really didn't care. Drew, I didn't care what was happening. Drew Gulak was like, if only Cedric Alexander would come out and interrupt me, is basically what he said. Because as soon as Drew Gulak said what he said, perfectly timed Cedric Alexander came out. And I was like, that was really perfectly timed, to the point where that was almost too perfectly timed, to the point where that was almost not organic at all. But whatever. Cedric Alexander comes out and he's like, Drew Gulak's like, who's your partner? So we got a tag team match. Ha ha ha. And his partner comes out, Goldust. And I'm like, is Goldust a cruiserweight? When the fuck did Goldust become a cruiserweight? It didn't. If I remember, this is the cruiserweight division, not the cruiserweight division in Goldust. Goldust, from what I remember, is like 230 pounds, 225 pounds over the cruiserweight limit. So how is he in the cruiserweight match? I'm like, okay, so now we totally giving up on the cruiserweights now, because Goldust shouldn't have been in this match. Next thing you know, next week we're gonna be having Cedric Alexander and fucking Braun Strowman versus Enzo Amore and goddamn Nia Jax. What the fuck? Who knows? But Cedric Alexander, Goldust won. Maybe Goldust is gonna go for the Cruiserweight Championship next. If he does, I'm gonna be like, that is the end of the Cruiserweight division. After that, it was time to walk with Elias, which is usually always the best part of Monday Night Raw. Elias comes out with Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. I'm kind of tired. Comes out with Drew Gulak. He comes out with Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, and he's like, who's ready to walk with Elias? And he gets cheers and boos, of course. I'm cheering him because I like Elias. I like his gimmick, singing and trashing cities like, you know, Hollywood Rock used to do. And Bo Dallas is like, this song is dedicated to the A-lister who's going to be returning next week. And I'm like, yay, The Miz is coming back. I like The Miz. Miz is pretty good. Miz comes back next week. Yay. So they start doing some dinging and some clinging, and Bo Dallas and Kurt Saxon are doing background noise, and Bo Dallas is trying his hardest not to laugh. He was trying his hardest not to laugh at the segment, but he started cracking, and then at that moment, Elias like, all right, I heard enough. You guys go to the back. He probably died as soon as he got to the back. Then he started singing. He was interrupted by the Good Brothers, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, and then we had a match. The Good Brothers and Finn Balor, because we get called the club because they're not the club, versus Elias and Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, because we still have to have this feud between Finn Balor, Elias, Curtis Axel, and Bo Dallas going on for some reason. Whatever, I don't know. I don't care. So this match happens. I was half paying attention at this point. I didn't care. Finn Balor hits a coup de grace onto Bo Dallas and wins the match for his team. Awesome sauce. Hopefully they keep them together for a while. If not, hopefully at least until WrestleMania. I'm not saying you got to keep them together forever, but don't let this be a one-off deal. You're trying to get Finn Balor back up to the point where he was, or at least they thought that he was. Put the Good Brothers with him. It's not like Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson are doing anything, right? The fuck have they been doing for the past 8 months? So put them with Finn Balor and let Finn Balor do his thing, but let them be his background guys. You can keep them as a babyface act. You don't have to make them heels right away. Of course, they're going to turn me heel later, but you don't got to turn me heel right away. Let them be a babyface act for a while. Turn me heel a little bit after WrestleMania or whatever. I don't care. But keep them together. You don't got to break. You don't got to make it to be a one-off. Keep them together. And then the main event, which was the last segment, which was Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. Everything after that was a blur. Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar started to leave the ring. Kane came out, and he started to come down the ramp. Brock Lesnar was starting to walk up the ramp. They started brawling, going at each other. It was a poor man's version of every single Brock Lesnar break apart, where Brock Lesnar goes at his opponents. Then the roster comes out to break. Referees come out to break it up, but they can't contain it. Then the Raw roster comes out to break it out, and they can barely contain it. Then Kurt Angle tries to come out, and he's trying to break it apart. And then the security, it's like, we've done this with every Brock Lesnar feud. We've done it with Brock and John Cena. Twice, mind you. We've done it with Brock and Randy Orton, I'm sure. We've done it with Brock and Triple H. We've done it with Brock and The Undertaker. Now we're doing it with Brock and Kane. It's like, how many times are we going to do the Brock pull apart? It's overdone. I was just sitting there like, really? And that was, of all the pull aparts, that was probably the worst one, honestly. Because it was totally unbelievable that Kane was really doing any damage. I was like, oh, really? That's how we end Raw? We could end the Raw with Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns. I would have been satisfied, but I was totally unsatisfied the way Raw ended. Great show, ending. But anyway, I would give this show I give it a. It was a pretty good show. I give it a. I'm trying to debate whether I want to give it a solid B or B minus. It wasn't that good because the ending kind of made it. I give this show a B. I give it a B, which I guess in terms of Wrestle Talk would be core. I give it a coal or B or 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 is what I give Monday Night Raw. This review is going on long enough. I probably rambled on too much. I haven't read any of your comments. I'm really sorry. I've just tried to keep it. I tried to keep this review going as much as possible without rambling on too much. So, thank you guys for watching. Tell me what you guys thought about this review down below. If you want to see more of them, if you want to see less of them, tell me what you guys want me to do because I want to know if you guys want to see more of these. If not, then I will not do them. I will stick to live streams. But if you want to see more, then I will try to do better with these live streams. This was not a good example of a live stream I would recommend you watch because I was kind of tired. But nonetheless, I love you guys as always, and I will talk to you all later. I will see you all tomorrow on tomorrow's live stream, as a matter of fact. So, yeah. Peace out.